Hey, everybody. We're here for the new moon in Taurus, and a lot, which I'm going to do my best to just kind of touch on everything in the most effective and efficient way that I can so that we can get into the secret code names, which will be time-stamped, by the way. All this will be time-stamped so you guys can go back and rewatch and replay whatever you guys would like. We are going to get into the cosmic currency first. We'll get into secret code names later. This is the moon that we're looking at. Y'all know me. If you've been here before, I'm old school. I don't know how to do all the tech stuff. Like the split screens and whatnot. So I print things and I draw on them with markers. And this is our chart. All right. I've highlighted some things that I'm definitely going to talk about. I mean, it's pretty clear. You can see the big red square with the X through it in the middle. We're going to talk about the cross. Not quite a grand cross because Lilith doesn't count as a major luminary. But she counts to me. She's a very significant energy. So we're going to go over the cross. We're also going to touch on a couple other major aspects. Okay. So firstly, let's talk about Mars because Mars is fresh in Leo and it just yesterday, right, on the 26th of April, yesterday had its last exact opposition with Pluto. Okay. Pluto and Mars had their first opposition last year. And then Leo, Mars and Leo retrograded back into Cancer, right? And then Pluto ingressed into Capricorn, or from Capricorn into Aquarius. And then Mars retrograded back into Leo to oppose it again. So they had two oppositions, once in the previous signs, Cancer and Capricorn, then once at the cusp during the retrograde of Mars, and then again now in different signs, Aquarius and Leo, right? So we've had this kind of big arc of lessons with Mars retrograding from Leo back into Cancer and now back in Leo. And I want to address the fact that, you know, the sun is in its dignity in Leo, right? That's Leo's home planet. It's the sun. And Mars is there, and we have Mars's energy being impacted by everything going on in Aries, including Neptune being fresh in Aries. Right, Neptune is fresh in Aries. It will retrograde back into Pisces briefly next year, but we're not worrying about that now. But there's a lot, like, and Aries has a lot of energy coming at it. Like Venus is going to be entering there. Saturn, it's going to be entering there. So, I mean, there's a lot of energy that's layering. It's layering energy. Okay. And I want to talk about the layers because there's a lot of layers. For example, Mars and Leo can be exceptionally proud, exceptionally big-hearted, like can't wait to go out there and show what a big heart they have or how much they care. Like it's that initiative taking, willpower and drive to get everything in order, to be the champion of the solution, right? To be the facilitator of such a thing. It's also extremely dramatic. People natal to Mars and Leo, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. They're extremely showy. They're extremely showy, right? Everything that they do, everything that they wear is to lock center of attention, right? They lock center of attention. That Mars and Leo drives to own the spotlight, right? Wills and desires to own the spotlight. And so they might dress that way. They might do their hair that way. They might speak that way. They might laugh that way. They might fill in the blank, right? But it's definitely dramatic. And when they get angry, because Mars does rule temper, when they get angry, it's a big show, right? It's a really big show. It could be distracting. It could be exaggerated. It could be a lot of things, right? Putting on a show or a performance when it comes to anger or trying to drive, like a certain initiative, I guess you could say. So that being in opposition to Pluto and Aquarius, what does that mean? So Pluto and Aqua, like you got to understand something about Pluto. Pluto is natally scorpionic. It's in square, right, to Aquarius, which is the house that it's in. Pluto, especially still being pretty fresh in Aqua, like it's going to be in there for quite a number of years. Like we're still in the very beginning. I think Pluto knows that on the opposite end of the spectrum of dramatics and flair and show and all of this big energy that Mars and Leo can bring, on the opposite side, there's this very somber and disassociated or disconnected vibe of, do I deserve it though? You know, do I deserve what I'm receiving? Am I being loved? Are different feelings coming up because certain perspectives that I have are distorting things? Pluto and Aquarius. Aquarius is very much about higher vibrations, as above and so below. It's about being able to look at things you used to look at through one lens and being able to see them through a different lens, right? And seeing how events kind of shaped the change. A good example would be like someone getting all puffed up in their chest, like they're the godsend of life that you asked for, and how dare you talk to them that way because they're a godsend. And you're sitting there receiving all of their dramatics and all of this bravado and pride and whatever. And you're looking at it and you're like, is this really how they feel? Or are they really stroking their own ego fucking hard? Like, do I deserve this? Like, is this real? Is it real because it's exaggerated, right? Things are dramatic and exaggerated with Mars and Leo. And so people are receiving the dramatics and the show and they're like, I don't know. Do I really buy the performance? It's a little exaggerated. It's a little extreme. Maybe it's not as 0 to 100 as they're making it out to be, right? So Pluto in opposition to Mars, like I said, we've gone through this whole period of Mars retrograding from Leo to Cancer and back. And I think you should go back and kind of reflect on themes of emotional warfare. Themes of emotional warfare with people, especially because Cancer is, you know, ruled and themed with maternal energy, right? The mother, the nurturer energy. Whether it's directly related to your mother or not, I guarantee you it'll be related to the house that Cancer rules in your chart. But where that emotional warfare really kind of settled in, because people are like, oh, well, what's emotional warfare? Like someone getting angry and throwing something at the wall? Like, no, that is not emotional warfare. It can be, you know, it can be, but there's more to it than that. Like emotional warfare can be gaslighting. Emotional warfare can be lying and manipulating and telling somebody you're fine when you're not. Emotional warfare could be saying something. It's literally to get an emotional trigger out of someone in order to get what you want. You know, a typical case would be like one parent threatening the other parent to tell the kids something that they shouldn't tell them. You know, like even if they would or wouldn't, it doesn't matter. You know, it's that kind of thing. Like, oh, well, if you do this, I'm going to do this, and you're going to get upset. And now you're stressing somebody out, right? And you're having them in high anxiety. That's it. You're triggering an emotion that you want them to feel in order to gain something, right? Because people don't go to war for no reason. There's something to be gained. There's something to be gained, whether it's a literal like resource gain or, it's usually resource gain, but it might be the fall of a certain, you know, tyranny. Something is gained, right? Freedom is a non-object that can be gained, but you know, you can get resource too. So it's what's gained. What does someone have to gain? And I think that a lot of people, the challenge, because oppositions are integrations, right? The challenge with this opposition, integrating the show with knowing what you deserve and deciding how you want to move forward. If you're feeling like, for example, because Pluto is scorpionic, it sometimes can, you know, indicate currents of possessiveness or jealousy, right? It's like realizing that no one belongs to you just because you feel the most love for them, or you feel like you're better at loving them than other people, or better at loving them than they love themselves, or you know how they need to love themselves better than they feel they need to be loved, right? It's a distortion that Pluto in Aquarius is healing in opposition to Mars, where we ourselves can become over dramatic or over the top showy, or feeling like we have to be great or we're not shit, and there's nothing in between. Like there's no gray area. You know, like you're either the top of the top and the best of the best, and everything that you do is A+ quality, or you're fucking garbage. You know, like, is it okay to be a C person? Yeah, it is. You know, so it's like getting comfortable in loving yourself and where you're at, and not really comparing yourself to anybody else, or even anybody else's version of what you should be, or anything. You know, it's like a full-blown acceptance of this is where I'm at. And I don't necessarily need to be dramatic or put on a show to be something that I'm not, or pretend that I'm something that I'm not, or to get reactions out of people. Like, how many people, and you can raise your hand, because I know better now. I'm grown now, but God knows my 20-year-old self didn't fucking know. My 17-year-old self didn't know. How many times did you want to see if someone cared, and so you did something to get a reaction out of them, to see what the reaction was? That's this. That's this. People waking up to the fact that other people do things and say things to get reactions out of them. And people are sitting back and thinking about it like, that is so grossly immature. It's grossly immature. If you have to ask, right? If you have to ask or pull a stunt, you know, to get a reaction out of somebody, to see if they care, I'll tell you the answer. They don't care. Not in the way you want them to. They care. In some which way, shape, or form that benefits them. But they don't care in the way you want, or you wouldn't be pulling some stunt. The other part of this, right? Because we just talked about Mars and Pluto. The other part of this is the sun and moon in opposition to Lilith. Okay, and that's what's creating the square. So the second part of the integration, right? Sun and moon, which is the biggest part of this whole thing. Sun and moon and Taurus. Sun and moon and Taurus really, and I mean really, loves creature comfort. Really loves steady and reliable and consistent. wants to be steady, reliable, and consistent. And shows up with the willingness to get through the heavy stuff, you know, in order to get to where you want to be. You know, like slow and steady wins the race. Like we might not fix everything in one conversation. It might take 20 conversations, but you know, if this is what we want and this is what our stability is and this is what brings us peace, then it's worth the 20 conversations. You know, that's moon and sun conjunct in Taurus. Let's get our hands dirty, right? Let's get our hands dirty and make it solid, because we can just talk once and build this thing on sand, or we can build it on fucking concrete and bedrock with steel. You know, like Taurus is like, let's build it and build it once so that we never have to rebuild it. Let's take our time building it. Lilith is a rebel, and in Scorpio, she's fucking crazy. Lilith in Scorpio is a crazy bitch. She's a rebel and she's dark, and she will pull some shit, right? She will pull some shit, and she's in the integration. And so you got to think from a positive angle to make that integration. Sometimes you have to be willing to accept when someone is testing you in ways that you do not appreciate, and being able to call it for what it is and address it right then and there for what it is, because that is the first conversation of 20. And if someone wants to make it work, you've got to be able to call it and say, hey, that's uncalled for. This is what you did. This is what it tells me about you. You know, whether it's insecurity or abandonment wounds, mommy daddy issues, like the list goes on and on. We all got fucking mental illness, okay? All of us. All of us. No one's exempt. It's just to what degree and what it is. What party favor are you? Right? So, you know, I think that can really help those energies, right? Knowing that you can call it for what it is and address it and bang it out. You know, I feel that if someone were to continue to test and push and try and manipulate, or, you know, is trying to triangulate, because, you know, dark Lilith and Scorpio could easily scheme up trying to triangulate, right? Well, maybe if I just talk to this person and make them a little jealous, right? Maybe they'll get possessive of me and step up in our relationship, right? And it's just like, someone's going to call you on your shit and be like, that's really immature. And if you can't trust me and you're trying to make me jealous, you should probably go be with that person. And they're just like, what? It's like, yeah, I just called you on that because that's bullshit. You know, like if you're in this and you're committed, you're not going to be playing games and triangulating, trying to get me jealous. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be real with me and talk to me about the issues that you're having so that we can fix it. So why don't we do that? You know, or maybe it's best that we just go our own way, because this grand show, I deserve better than that. Right. I deserve better than that. These are the big challenges coming up with that cross, right? The sun and moon oppose Lilith, and Mars oppose Pluto, all in square to each other. That is the biggest challenge, recognizing who and what is putting on a show, including yourself. Do you or they deserve it, or do you deserve better? What is building stability, peace, reliability, something that you can depend on long-term, that can stand tests of time? And what immature kind of energy is out there trying to make you feel like you've got to tolerate games? Because the answer, Lilith in her light, is going to fucking leave pissed. and come back, Phoenix Rise energy, right? Because Scorpio is all about death and rebirth, and they're going to come back with a major glow up, sexy fucking glow up, mysterious fucking glow up, and you ain't gonna be able to fucking call them. You ain't gonna be able to text them. You're just gonna be watching them from the other side of the lens, like fuck, you know, because Lilith will do it. No, she'll make you hate yourself. Will make you hate yourself. You get on the wrong side of Lilith. So I would keep those major factors in mind. Okay. I feel like a lot of people are going to be ready to reap the rewards of all the work they're doing, but there are steps that need to be taken, and they do have to happen one at a time. I think that if you're feeling like you're blindsided or everything is falling apart, I promise you it's fallen out the way. Okay. You don't know what's coming in yet to replace it. And I know that that's upsetting, but if everything feels like it's fallen apart, it's because you do deserve differently than what you have, for better or worse. You deserve differently than what you have, and Spirit's making room. If you're not sure what side you fall on, it's probably not the good one. Because I know those that know they're on the good side of this shit and they don't deserve this fucking shit from other people, they're not worried. they're not worried, you know, about being blindsided and things falling apart, because they're just like, all right, thank you, universe, for pulling out whoever needed to get pulled the fuck out. You know, people need to go when they need to go. And sometimes it's because better is moving in and there's no other reason. You didn't even know it could get better. Spirit was like, I'm sorry, I got to take this out the way. I got to take that out the way. I got to move these things. You're probably going to go through a healing process for a while until the better can come in, because I really need to know that you let this old energy go. But I promise, once you clear this shit out and you're ready to move forward, forward's going to look great on you. Forward's going to look great on you. You wear it really well. It's attractive, right? This is the kind of stuff that I think people have a really hard time. I think people have a really hard time. I feel like, you know, sometimes we feel like we have so much to give that we can't run out. We feel like we have so much that we can give, especially knowledge, right? We have all this knowledge that we can give. We have all this wisdom that we can give. If people just let us in, and the things that we could teach them and the things that we could show them, you know, are so valuable. Like, we get in those moments. And then there's other times when you feel the complete opposite and you're like, damn it, like, I'm literally speaking to someone as dumb as a fucking doornail. They are not getting it at all. Or I feel dumber even trying to talk to them. Like, I'm literally wasting every fucking cell in my body's effort trying to maintain and move forward with whatever this is. And I think that, you know, knowing when to open up that valve to give and when to shut it or just crack it open, you know, like controlling your energy. I think people are really having to learn how to control their energy. I think that Uranus, because Uranus, we're going to talk just a little bit about that. It's in challenge to Mercury. It's got a semi-square to Mercury, but it's got a sextile going to all this Venus, Saturn, North Node at the end of Pisces type stuff. And it's being affected by all of the Aryan shifts, right? It's being affected by all the different Aryan shifts. I think that, because Venus and Saturn and North Node, they're all at the very, very end of Pisces. So it's like cusp energy. They're feeling the heat and fire of Aries already. And Mars knows it, you know, Mars knows it. It rules Aries. So, or Aries rules Mars, whatever, chicken versus egg, what came first? So, I think that Uranus is actually feeling a little bit volatile. I think that Uranus is feeling a little short fused. You know, we've got Mars squaring on the sun and moon in Taurus, and that's where Uranus is, in Taurus, having a conversation with these two fuckers in the same room. You know, that's the kind of way I describe it. Like when two planets are in the same sign, it's like they're in the same room. If you think of a house and all the different rooms, well, the sun, moon, and Uranus are all hanging out in the same room together, you know? So even though there's not any clear aspects, Mars is playing a huge role. And I think that it definitely has Uranus feeling a little volatile. It definitely has it feeling some short fused or projected anger or frustration out either at yourself or at other people, right? Hey, how you doing, Meddings? Lovely. From Australia? That's fucking awesome. I can't wait to visit you guys out there. I'm going to make my way over to Australia. I'm planning on it this year. I'm still planning on it this year. Things switched and changed, but we're still gonna move forward with it. Anyway, before I get like too far off topic, I think Saturn and Venus is putting Uranus under a lot of pressure because Uranus is in Venus's sign, right? It's in Taurus. It's ruled by Venus. I think that Uranus really wants beautiful things. And I don't mean just literal things. I mean like beautiful things, like beautiful experiences, beautiful people, like Uranus and Taurus. Taurus really does vie for earthly safety and beauty and peace, right? The good life, the chill and put your feet up, you know, on the front porch in a rocking chair, like, you know, sipping on a nice glass of whatever you prefer. And it's that kind of energy. And Saturn and Venus are having this conversation with Uranus with the North Node as the megaphone, you know, that they're speaking through. And it's like, well, what rules do you have? Right? Saturn. What rules do you have surrounding love or money? What are the rules? When you picture perfect, when you picture it in your mind, what perfect would look like or feel like, what are the rules to keep it that way? What are the rules? Well, in order to keep it that way, loyalty is number one. We got to stay monogamous if it's a relationship. Loyalty is number one. If we're going to be friends and move forward as friends, and I need thick as thieves loyalty, right? I need it right here. Loyalty. What if you're on a different spectrum? What if your rule is, yeah, we can be in a relationship, but it's got to stay open. I believe in non-ethical or ethical non-monogamy or whatever the fuck it is. Okay. What are your rules for it to work? What does perfect look like? And if that's what it looks like inside your head, what structure can you give it to keep it that way? Because that's what Saturn does. It gives things structure. It gives a contract of if all of these things are met, it's going to work and it'll be great. If these things aren't met, it's going to start to collapse. It's going to fall apart. Right? What are the rules? And do you know better than to break them? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do know better than to break them because it's in sextile to Pluto. You've been there, done that. It is time for you to move forward and feel loved by people in your life. You need to be able to love yourself. You need to be able to look in the mirror and love yourself. It's hard to love yourself when you are literally choosing to let someone take advantage of you. It's hard to look in the mirror and love yourself when you know someone is putting on a fucking dramatic ass show, making you feel some type of way, purposefully trying to make you feel some type of way to get their way. And you're like, I know, I see it. They're treating me like I'm dumb, like I don't. They're thinking I'm going to buy it. They want me to because it makes their life easier. So what do? What do I do? Do I play dumb? Let them get away with it, put up with it? Do I put on a show of my own? What do I do? Right? What do I do? And I think that you're no longer who you were. You're no longer who you were, but you're not quite who you are to become yet. I think you're still figuring it out. That Uranus challenge to Mercury, I think you're still figuring it out. Like Mercury just came out of retrograde. It's in Aries. It's redefining the self. It's thinking about the self. It's analyzing the self. It's looking at the facts of the self and saying, okay, what do I need to change? And that's uncomfortable because even one little tweak could be a real radical ripple. Like maybe the one little tweak is letting one very specific person go. Maybe that one little tweak is getting a pet. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it could change everything. Oh, let's go get a dog, or let's go get a kitty. Like, let's go get some fish. I don't know. Changes things. You know, I think that you figuring out who you are in this new cycle, because this is the first time that, you know, Mercury and Neptune really sat in this Aryan space together. Hey, Meg, how you doing? Hey. Sat in this Aryan space. And Chiron's in there. Like, people forget because Chiron's been in there for so fucking long now. But Chiron is in there too. Like, Chiron is having that conversation with everybody coming in the Aries room. Everybody come to the party to go hang out in Aries' room. I mean, we've got Eris in there, Chiron's in there, Mercury's in there, Neptune's in there, Venus and Saturn already hit them up like, yo, we're coming. Do you have enough shit or do we need to bring more? Like Saturn and Venus, lushing it coming out of Pisces. Like, let's go. Let's go. You know, let's talk about these wounds, right? Saturn's coming in there with Venus and Neptune, you know, talk to Chiron. Like, let's talk about these wounds with the self. Let's bring some structure to it. Let's bring some love and gratitude and appreciation for where we've been. Because we need to heal it, right? We need to heal it. We need to move forward. I think the forecast with Neptune being in Aries is lots of sunshine. I think Neptune being in Aries, the forecast is lots and lots of sunshine. I think the big lesson with it, though, is if you're going to make a choice, your heart, mind, and soul must all agree that you feel good about the choice before you make it. I think that's going to be, mark my words, I think that is going to be the biggest theme with Neptune and Aries. Realizing that there is a lot of beautiful sunshine energy coming, but it requires you to make choices based off those three things. Heart, mind, and soul. Are they all in agreement? Do they all feel good about the choice? Because that's the way that people need to start learning how to make choices. If you're not making choices with all three of those things in alignment, then you're taking a gamble. You're taking a big gamble. Either your heart's not in it, which means it's a mind choice and your soul is pulling you to it, but your heart's not in it, which means you're going to hurt somebody later. You're not going to get hurt because your heart's not in it, but they will if their heart is. You're going to hurt someone. You have to be aware of the consequence of your choices. If you're making choices with one of those three things missing and it's heart, you are going to hurt someone. If you are making a heart decision and a soul decision, your soul is being pulled towards it, your heart is calling you towards it, it's like some twin flame shit. And your mind is like, I don't know, I see some red flags. And you're like, no, it's wonderful. And you are not listening to your head, who's like, red flag, hello. You're like, no. Well, guess what? You are going to get hurt. You are going to get hurt for not using your fucking head. And if your soul's not in it, if you are making choices because it feels good and it makes sense, but your soul's not pulled to be there, you are wasting your time and everybody else's. You're wasting your time. If your soul's not in it, your soul's not in it. Where's it going? Where's it going? It's like living out the cookie cutter life and realizing it's all just a fucking show, like the Truman Show. It feels good, makes sense, but your soul's not in it. Something's off about it. What's going to happen is you're going to want to go discover yourself and find yourself. You just wasted a whole bunch of time. Should have done that a long time ago. Should have just accepted that you weren't in it. And those are going to be the lessons over the next 14 years while Neptune is in Aries. What choices are you making? And are all three of those things in agreement? Mind, heart, and soul. Because if you make choices over the next 14 years without taking that into account, you will learn exactly what I just said. If your heart's not in it, you're hurting someone. If your head's not in it, you're hurting yourself. And if your soul's not in it, you are wasting everybody's time. Everyone's. You only get this lifetime once. Like, time ticks, y'all. Saturn's like, bitch, time ticks. It might not matter outside this earth plane, but guess where we at? Guess where we're at? You know what I mean? Like, Saturn's like, yeah, you know, tell Aquarius. Tell Aquarius. He's like, time's not real. Time is imaginary, right? Aquarius, Saturn. And Saturn's in Capricorn energy. It's like, oh, time's very real. Guess where we're at? Earth minutes exist here. So make sure you're moving forward with that. Learn to surrender what is beyond your control. Remove the things that burden your energy and your spirit. Face the reality that just because you were a hurt person in the past, that you got hurt by people, does not mean that you deserved to be hurt. If you feel you've been hurt by the divine, hurt by spirit, hurt by God, it doesn't mean you deserved to feel that way. Maybe you didn't quite understand it, at least from a divine perspective. And I think most of us can admit we do not know or understand the divine's perspective. We all like to try and figure it out, but we don't fucking know. We don't know. Until you get hit with lightning and you're just like, yeah, I fucking know, right? That epiphany shit. But I think when you remove yourself from chaotic places and chaotic people, chaotic situations, you realize that their problems, whatever their problems are not yours to resolve. They are not yours to resolve. Anybody's problem is still their problem unless you make it your problem. See what happens to your thought processes and how they switch and how they change and how your perspective notices things, your perception notices things that maybe you missed before just by separating your energy for a little bit. You know, Saturn and Venus with North Node in Pisces, the very end of Pisces is like reflect, 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 because Once Venus and Saturn move into Aries, the time for Piscean reflection is over. It's over. Time keeps moving forward. Energy keeps moving forward. The collective keeps moving forward. At some point, you can reflect on it as long as you want, but Spirit's going to move you forward and be like, okay, reflecting time is over. It doesn't matter if you think you're ready or not. But this is the time you really do need to reflect on some things. I mean, we've got a good solid month or two. What has been the biggest lessons for you over the last, we'll say, 9 months, 8-9 months, in regards to family patterns, in regards to behavioral patterns? What is it that you get worried about, that if you don't change it, you might not get what you want, or the person you want, or the outcome you want in life? We all know what that is. We all know what that is about ourselves. That we are afraid that if we do not change it, it will get in the way and cost us everything we want in our life to evolve into, to manifest with. For some people, it's drinking. You know, you want to get a brand new car. Maybe you need one, but you're spending $200-$300 plus a month on stuff to drink. Well, if you put that $200-$300 away for 1 year, you would have a down payment on a car. The one that you need to get to replace the one that's breaking down on you. But, you know, you need to stop drinking to do that. It could be hygiene. Maybe you don't have the best hygiene. Maybe your house is not clean. Maybe you're disorganized and cluttered. And you're afraid people are going to judge you. What is that one thing that you're afraid if other people see it, they're not gonna want you around, or they're gonna keep you at a distance or forget about you and you don't matter? What is it? Because that's what you got to look at. That's what you have to address, because you're going to land on one of two sides of the coin. You're going to change it. On one side of the coin, you're going to get hella serious with yourself. Like, no more excuses, and put your fucking nose to it. And get a real good whiff of how much that energy stinks, so that you can avoid it moving forward. Or you are going to accept that whatever it is that you are afraid of is either 1, beyond your control, or 2, you are not actually guided to change it about yourself at all. And accept that you are not perfect, and it is okay that someone is going to love you that way, period. People are going to love you and remember you and appreciate you anyway. I think to wrap this up, because we are going to get into secret code names. We're going on 45 minutes, almost 45 minutes. Self-criticism is healthy when practiced correctly. I'm not talking about being self-critical and calling yourself a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? That is not criticism. That is abusing the self. Criticism would be like, you know what? This is what you've accomplished. It's not bad, but you definitely could have improved this part or that part. And maybe you could have done this differently. So looking at yourself critically, maybe this is what you can work on. And not, you know, calling yourselves any names. So remove yourself from chaos. Most of it starts inside the self. You bring some stability to your own inner world and start to see things from a lens that is sustainable. I think by the time this whole transit works itself through, we're going to find ourselves in a much better space. We're also going to be a lot happier when Jupiter gets the fuck out of Gemini. I don't like it there. It does not like it there at all. It's in its fucking worst sign there. Gemini is its war sign. Detrimental. Okay. I think that's all I want to talk about for the cosmic currency. Now the fun part. The secret code names. Let's just do an intro to all these. Timestamp it. Okay. So, secret code names. We've got Frosty, Green Goblin. I can't say it with a straight face. Bearded Lip Smacker. And Coveted Pearl. Okay. Now, Frosty, I thought it was interesting. Because it was kind of a play on words. And it has a lot of different meanings. And Spirit was kind of like giving me little dashes of it as I was getting the visual, because it started like a Frosty like you would get from like 7-Eleven or something, you know, like a slushie. And then I was like, well, that's interesting. But it was like, no, like Frosty, like the snowman. I was like, okay. So sweet treat, but temporary, because Frosty melts, right? It's a temporary treat. It's seasonal. And then it gave me that cold, that very cold, like frosted, chilled imagery. Like you take a mug, like a glass mug out of the freezer, and it fogs up, right? As soon as it hits the air. I was like, cold to the touch, visually, right? We could see how cold it is. And so for Frosty's energy, I really did kind of get this vibe of season for a reason, temporarily, you know, enjoyable, like a sweet treat, but not really good for you. It's probably filled with garbage, but it tastes good. And being really cold. And I think that if you are ooh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Something just grabbed my throat. I think you might be in your I don't want to say like a cold bitch phase, but an I don't give a fuck phase, and it feels good right now. But it's not you. And it's only here for a season. And or someone else is that way. right? For Green Goblin, I definitely got Willem Dafoe's version of the Green Goblin. Saw him clear as day. So if you were drawn to Green Goblin, you might want to rewatch that. There's probably some spiritual mirror themes in there for you. All right, Spider-Man. Bearded lip smacker. This secret code name. It was so fucking specific. So I'm sitting there and Spirit gave me this visual of someone, like, you know when someone smacks their lips, like, right, smack their lip. But the visual I got was like someone smacking their lips, but only on half of their mouth, like, like a lip roll, right? Like a lip roll on half the side of their mouth. And I was like, okay, so they're smacking their lips. And Spirit's like, what else? I was like, well, the image they were showing me had a beard. I was like, okay, well, they got a beard. And Spirit's like, yeah. And I was like, so they're like a bearded lip smacker. And Spirit was like, yep, that's it. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm not saying that live. I'm not saying that live. Give me something else. Spirit's like, no, you're good. You've got it. Bearded lip smacker. So I don't know who or what that is for you. But it was really specific, like a half mouth roll, like what the fuck is this? Bearded lip smacker. Of course, you could take that a whole different way with plays on words, but we are going to just leave it right there. We're just going to leave it right there with the way that I got it. And then Coveted Pearl, we are going to take it there. Because the last secret code name, Spirit gave me a whole short story. Okay, so get ready. You can go and catch your timestamp after. There is definitely a short story that I was literally given from Spirit for this whole thing. So the Coveted Pearl, Spirit gave me a whole mini movie. So this pearl, it's a decent sized pearl, and Spirit showed it kind of rolling over sand, right? Like loose under the ocean, like the pearl was loose and was rolling down like a bit of sand along the bottom, and a clam found the pearl and opened up to take it in. It wanted the pearl, right? This beautiful pearl. That's mine. It had this sense of like the clam saw the pearl and was like, that's mine. I have to have it, right? This beautiful pearl. I have to have it. But once the pearl was inside the clam, it was a foreign object and being treated just like all the other sand. And the sand moves around inside the clam, like the sand moves around. It's abrasive. It's rough, like it's uncomfortable, right? It's gritty. And pearls start to form naturally inside the clam because of its own process, right? So the clam takes in this pearl, and I'm seeing it be moved around with all of this sand and it being uncomfortable, having these other pearls grow inside the clam in their own right? The clam's own creation. The clam created it, right? These new pearls that are growing and making the space for the pearl that the clam took in tight. And the pearl is still growing. It's still getting bigger. It's still inside here with the same process that is growing everything else inside the clam. And so you have this pearl that was beautiful from the gate. It was claimed by the clam, right? This is my pearl. And the clam took it in. But the pearl grew, was pushed out by other pearls, and it got too big for the clam. Too big. It went through a lot of abrasive, rough, uncomfortable, tight, trapped, feel like I can't move energy, and got so big for the clam that the clam had to release it. Had to. There was no room for the pearl. And it's more big and beautiful than it ever was. It left the clam with plenty of space for the two new pearls that I visually saw it forming, and then rolled off and went down the sand, down the next little hill, and took off. Like the pearl moved on. And I just remember seeing the clam, like watching the pearl exit and roll off. And I got this really gripping feeling of mine. My pearl. That's mine. But it wasn't the clam's pearl. It was never the clam's pearl. The clam has two pearls of its own. But it wants that one. And it can't have that one and have the two pearls that it's making inside. It can't have both. But it wants both. It doesn't want to give up its own pearls. It created it from scratch. They built this themselves from scratch. But that is already beautiful and so fucking big. It would take forever to get these two little pearls in here to be even close to the size of that one. And that one's always going to be a step ahead. Always. It's kind of like that kind of energy. I also got some really sexual undertones with the clam and the pearl. Some of y'all call a little bean. The bean down under. But literally, like, I even got some really interesting metaphoric energy, I guess you could say, because it really was someone trying to claim something that was never theirs, and they didn't ensure that if they valued it like that, that it had enough room to stay and be valued, right? Someone didn't truly make space for it. And now they're upset because it's gone. It's gone, right? The coveted pearl. The coveted pearl. Those are the secret code names. So we are going to get into Frosty. I'm using the 𝐷𝐿 𝐵𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐴 tarot for some insights. And I might pull some guidance at the end. We'll see. All right. Frosty. Secret code name Frosty. Okay. Sorry, I could figure out my hands for a second. Don't judge me, y'all. Oh my gosh. All right, secret code name Frosty. Theme, she has not forgotten. She has not forgotten. When we talk about quote unquote she, we're talking about your yin or your feminine side, right? Your receptive half. What is going on with Frosty? What do they need to know? She has not forgotten. Moving forward. What is in their highest good with this transit energy, right? Moving forward. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. And the Star card. Okay. I like it. What's the clarities? What's the clarities? Okay. What is the Ten of Cups? The Knave of Chalices. All right. And what is the star? Clarify the star. What is the star? Ooh. We got the King of Chalices. And a card came out upside down with it. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. Top is the Two of Wands. That's that energy I was talking about. Look at these two fucking cards. Look how fucking stingy, miserly that fucking image is. And then you've got this one back here, this light-hearted maiden, just kind of prancing about barefoot with her two wands. What I think you're coveting, Frosty, which is definitely the vibe that the Four of Pentacles is kind of giving me. Maybe not coveting. Coveting's the wrong word. It's definitely going to be for another secret code name. I think the vibe is a fear of lack. I think it's a fear of lacking freedom, a fear of losing that kind of young curiosity, right? A fear of losing innocence to time, right? A fear of losing innocence to time, because time, obviously this is a much older figure on the card, time makes you very, very serious and afraid, where youth has this kind of recklessness, this beautiful recklessness to it, you know? We're not afraid. I think that you are afraid of losing that youthful sense of spirit, right? The Knight of Pentacles with the Ten of Cups and the Star card. Clarified by the Six of Swords reversed, the Knight, or the Page of Chalices, the Knave of Chalices, and the King of Chalices. The King of Chalices came out with the Two of Chalices upside down. So you might not see that yet. You could very well be dealing with a water sign or someone who is water heavy. It could be playing into your own water energy if you have it strong in your chart. I've also got Aquarius out here, Uranus out here, and just stronger air in general. Because the whole board is air and water. And I think there's this interesting energy with 3. Because the Ten of Chalices, there's the mother figure. And there's 3 children in the card, right? There's 3 children there. One of them is an angel, right? This one has wings, but 3 children in the card. And then here in the Star card, there's 3 ladies there, right? I think if there is children involved, especially because the Knave of Chalices is who clarifies the Ten of Cups, I think you may have a child who is your whole heart and soul, right? Your whole heart and soul. I think that it's maybe taken a long time for you. With the Knight of Coin and the Six of Swords reversed, I think that it's taken you a really long time to put one foot in front of the other and realizing that Maybe it's not always about moving forward into something calm. Sometimes we do have to walk right into the storm, and you are unwilling to go back to a storm, or move into face a new one because of a child. Like, you might be willing to take a chance on something and see where it goes, but you're not necessarily willing to involve a child and see where something goes, you know? Like, if your child wasn't with you, you would take a chance on it. But because they are, there's no way you would there's no way you would do it, you know? Unless certain conditions were met, maybe, you know? Like, for example, I'll use my own personal life as an example. My son's 18. It's just him and I. His father's not in the picture. Family's not in the picture, you know, whatever. So I had half a mind. I really did. Like, when I left my job in March, everything in me wanted to go and just road trip across the country and say, fuck it, right? And just drive around as long as I could fucking drive around and just visit people and see things and go to places and eat food and, you know, sleep looking at the stars somewhere, you know, like, I really wanted to. And if I didn't have my son, that's what I would have done. That is what I would have done 100%. I would have gotten my car, I would have packed all my shit, I would have left what I didn't fucking need, and I would have just took off. But I do have my son, and I do not want to change that either. You know, like, I like my son in my life. I love him to pieces. He's my rock. So obviously that's not what I chose to do, right? We're doing other things. And if and when my son can provide for himself and take care of all the bills by himself, and he gets to that age where he is responsible and independent and he can handle it, then maybe I'll go on a road trip, because I know he's good and he can handle it for however long I'm gone, you know. But right now is not that time. I think that's where you might be at, in a similar breath, not necessarily the same exact situation. You know, it's like knowing that if someone was not in your life, you would handle things one way and you would handle it that way, no problem. But because someone is, and they matter to you, you know, you love them, you are taking them into consideration. And I think that's extremely healing. I think that's putting you in a place of emotional maturity as the King of Chalices with whoever the soulmate is, especially if they are a child, you know, especially because in this soulmate card, because we saw the angel, right, holding up that child, and that one card, here's the angel here with the soulmate, right? They're there whispering to them, you know, the angel's whispering to them. And it's like, you know, that you're being guided. And if your child is intuitive, or does have connection with their spirit guides or their angels, or they feel like someone, you know, watches over them, and, you know, that type of thing, they're getting reassurance from their angels that they are safe with you making these calls. Your child feels safe with you because they know you're considering them, whether you've expressed it or not. I was just pulled to the theme, she has not forgotten. I think it might be especially prominent if your child is a girl. Like, she has not forgotten. You have not forgotten, right? Your own inner feminine energy has not forgotten the way you felt and how you are choosing to move forward because of it. But I feel specifically for your reading that if you do have a child, they have not forgotten what you have chosen for them on behalf of their account. You know, that you didn't just choose for yourself, even though you could have. They know you could have. I feel like your ability to love whoever this soulmate is has really elevated you from the time the angels gifted them to you to be their parent to now. I think you're doing a great job. I think you've emotionally matured a lot, like really high emotional intelligence. It takes a very, very emotionally intelligent person to live inside a realm of consideration, because nothing else exists, because love is there. Genuine, true love is there. True and genuine love will always consider. Always. Without hesitation. It's like second nature. When you love someone, it is second nature to consider them. Second nature. You considering someone is and has always been and will always be second nature to you. They don't question your consideration of them. That's why they feel safe. That's why it thrives. That is emotional intelligence actually active and in play, right, in the real world. I think you've come a long way from who you were before this child came into your life and who you are now. And that this person, I'm saying child because that's the way I'm reading it, but take it as it resonates if you know you're resonating with the secret code name in hindsight. Yeah. I think this child had a profound impact on you for the better. And because they've had such a profound impact on you for the better, you are now recycling that back and having a profound impact on them when they need it the most. You know, when they need it the most. Young. People need that kind of support young in life. That is how you manifest healthier relationships. By having healthy examples. It sucks when you don't have a healthy example, because not only do you have to figure out that your example was not healthy and identify it, then you've got to fix it. And then try and relate to energy you have never connected with before. You know, they say, like an example, they say it's really hard to change social class. You know, poverty breeds more poverty, middle class breeds more middle class, and upper class stays the upper class. And it just, you know, we go into these cycles, right? It's like you realizing that you've been in emotional poverty your whole life and you elevated to middle class or upper class. And you're letting that wealth of emotional intelligence pour over to the people closest to you. And that's kind of fucking awesome. So, you know, don't forget who you were and the things you would choose if. And just know that's how far you've come. That's how far you've come. You used to be a certain way. And you couldn't possibly think about it being any different anymore, you know? Like, not anymore. You don't make just decisions for yourself. I got these on a completely random note. This is not a sponsor. I got these at Walmart. They're fucking banging. I'm really sad I'm at the end of that. But anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that helps, and I hope you give yourself credit where due. I hope you give yourself credit where due, because that's exceptional. a lot of people don't elevate into different classes of energy. It's very difficult. And not only did you do it, you're teaching someone how to navigate higher vibrational energy in the realm of emotions, right? You're teaching them this is what emotional intelligence looks like, and they're learning from you. So, hey, Kristen, how you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, Frosty, I hope that makes sense and helps you. All right. Secret code name Green Goblin. Let's get a timestamp here. Spirit might call it perfect timing, Kristen. Green Goblin. Let's see. For secret code name Green Goblin and all those who are drawn to it, Spirit, what do they need to know about She Has Not Forgotten? That theme of She Has Not Forgotten. What do they need to understand about these transits moving forward more than anything else? What do they need to know? And their highest good more than anything else. She has not forgotten. Oh, you heard me. Just shuffle the shit out of that deck. The 10 of Cups flew right back out. 10 of Cups. The Tower. Mars energy. And the Knave of Pentacles. All right, clarities, please. Queen of Wands on the 10 of Cups. Queen of Chalices in reverse, clarifying the Tower. Give me one more for that Queen of Chalices reverse. Who is that and what is that about with the Tower? Fuck it, we're getting nosy. We want to know. We want to know. Ooh, the Devil and the 4 of Swords. Okay. Clarify then the Page of Pentacles, please. The Knave, the Page of Pentacles. The 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. All right. Bottom of the deck is the 8 of Pentacles. Bottom is the Hanged Man. Piscean energy. Okay. Okay. I think the Hanged Man is definitely stuck energy that you've been working through for a hell of a long time. The 8 of Pentacles is putting in the work, right? It's putting in the grueling, everyday, laborious task of doing the same thing, right? Doing the same thing. It's like you're doing the same thing over and over and over. Might not necessarily be routine, you know, like everyday life routine. I'm getting it as more of something that you've been working on for quite a while. And if you just feel like you're hanging upside down, like you're hanging by it, or life is hanging by it, right? Because the Hanged Man is a very real, living, breathing human hanging, right? It's life hanging upside down and stagnating. It's because some kind of perspective what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, Spirit. I'm getting this feeling that the Piscean energy with the Hanged Man is, because it's your reading, but I don't think the Hanged Man is you. I feel like it's stagnating because Spirit might be trying to pull someone else into spiritual revelation, you know, that this is why everything feels like it's been upside down, or a specific person has felt upside down, like they don't know what to do and there's some stagnation there. It's because there's a belief system in place. There's a belief system in place. And they're, all right, Spirit. And they're overwhelmed on the inside. It's, okay. How I'm getting this. Hey, Mystic Road, how you doing? If you have ADD or ADHD, or they do, I know I do. And I know, like, if I only have one or two things to do, I will get those one or two things done. If I know I have like 10 things to do, none of them might get done, right? Because it's like this ADHD overwhelm. It's like thinking about all of the things you have to do that it becomes so overwhelming and draining that you shut down. Like you will mentally shut down and not be able to do any of it, right? And it's not that you don't want to do all of it, you do. But the mental process becomes so overwhelming, it's almost like freezing. It's like freezing. And you don't know what to do other than avoid all of it and pretend it's not there. You know, it's, I feel like you have someone who maybe needs to see themselves a little bit differently and maybe not be so hard on themselves. Because I think their work ethic is really good when they're not overwhelmed. But when they are overwhelmed, like they might be dealing with something very spiritually painful to deal with, you know, like, and the 20 things on the list that they have to do might be get this done, get that done, go here, go there, you know, do this, do that. But it might also be, is this person going to be okay with me if I do? Is this person going to be upset with me when I don't because I'm overwhelmed right now? Like, what is this person going to think? How is this person going to react? Is it going to affect this person? Is it going to affect that? Is it going to start to, you know, because when you have like ADHD brain or ADD brain, like your mind will go down a really far rabbit hole, and you kind of have to catch yourself sometimes. I think that's what this person's dealing with. I think they found themselves in a spot where they're just like really overwhelmed. So I will give you / them. That's just the top and bottom of the deck. We'll get into the other cards in a second, but I would give you this advice. Do one thing, or ask them to just focus on one thing off the checklist. It doesn't matter that all 20 need to get done today. It doesn't. Just one needs to get done today. I was so down and out and upset after I had left my job in March. I really was. I was so fucking upset. I loved what I did. Anyway, I had to do one thing at a time. One thing a day. I had like 25 things to do. And as someone who deals with like high functioning autistic, you know, things and ADHD things, and I'm on that spectrum, like I really battled with that. I will be really honest about it. I really battled with that. The overwhelm was real. The overwhelm, the fear, the anxiety that immediately kicked in, the anger was real. And I had 20 million things to do and completely shut down for 2 straight weeks. 2 straight weeks, just shut down and said, you need to rest. That is what you're doing today. You need to rest. You need to not worry about any of that other stuff right now. And you need to focus on your physical rest. And so I did. And it was really hard for me for 2 weeks to really focus on that. I had just gone through 3 months of not fucking sleeping and working myself into literal, like, physical deterioration. So yeah, I needed 2 weeks to recover. After that, the first thing I did that wasn't resting or taking a shower, because that took me a while too. I was so fucking upset. I could not get out of bed. I was a mental wreck. Okay, we're talking. This is real life stuff. This is real people stuff. Like, I took a huge blow emotionally. Like, I loved people there, loved them. It was my life. It was my path that I had chosen and picked. You know what I mean? Like, I was fucking sad. I did the dishes. Not only did I rest that day, I did the dishes. My son was helping me keep up on it, and they had gotten quite a bit backed up, and I did the dishes. And it was a big deal for me. It was a big deal for me because I got 2 things done. I upped it from 1 to 2. And then after I did the dishes, I cooked dinner. For the first time in weeks. I cooked dinner. I did 3 things on my list. And I broke down crying outside on my back porch, proud of myself. Telling myself, you did a really good job today. You really needed that today. You did a great job. Don't shoot for 3 tomorrow. Shoot for 1 again. And if you could do more, great. But I broke down on that back porch, crying, proud of myself because I knew I was getting better. It took me 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, to really start to feel more like myself. But I did. I think you're dealing with someone who puts themselves under a lot of pressure to be everything they need to be in one day. And they really just need to focus on one thing and be proud of themselves for just getting that done. Just taking that win and letting it be the win that it is. I don't doubt that I am. I don't doubt that I am, Kristen. I think you're 100% right on that. Yeah. Yeah, he's a Pisces moon. Yeah. Hanged Man. Okay, so we know where this reading is for you. We know where this reading is. But I think that's important to understand, especially, you know, Kristen, if it is your husband, you know what I mean? He's a man. He feels responsible. He's got a wife and he's got, you know, a family, and he puts himself under a lot of pressure to be all the things that he thinks society expects him to be. He thinks that you expect him to be, that he's been taught to expect himself to be. And he is just who he is and having to navigate it at a pace that works for him. Had I could have stayed out there on that porch and slept for more than 2 weeks. I could have done it for 2 years if I let myself get overwhelmed every fucking day about the things that I need to get done that I'm not doing. If I don't tackle it one thing at a time and be proud of myself for that one win. If I stay hard on myself, I will get nothing done until I cut it out. Until I fucking knock it off and stop and get a hold of myself and control myself. You know, like this world was built on quote unquote normal. It was built by normal, for normal thinking brains, right? Like you wake up, you brush your teeth, you go to work, you get this done, you get that done, you organize this, you got to go to the store, you do it, you got to cook, you do it, you got to clean, you do it. And people just function normal. They just function fucking normal. Not everybody is normal. My ass ain't. I do not function like that. Put my ass on a schedule. Put my ass on a fucking schedule. Y'all know if you've been with me for forever, schedules don't work. I would love nothing more than to be on a schedule. They're all temporary. Schedules are all temporary. It's just, I can't function that way. I need change. I need spontaneity. I need a little bit of adventure and some firecracker shit. I can't just wake up, go to work, come home, change out my clothes, take a shower, eat dinner, sit on the couch with the wife or the kids or the best friend, chug a beer on the weekend, and then do it all over. I would go fucking insane. I would go fucking nuts. Are you kidding me? If I'm in the same... I have been here in where I'm at now in Illinois for 3 years. This is year 3. If I didn't get out of Illinois and take random trips to New Jersey, or I'm planning a random trip to Australia this year. If I was not planning something to just shake it all up, the routine, y'all would see me losing my ever-loving on this channel in a completely different way. In a completely different way. It wasn't built for sensitivity. This world, the structure, I swear to God, all the earth signs and air signs built this shit because fire and water didn't. Fire and water didn't build this fucking structure. It was air and earth that did it. I blame them. But really fire and water heavy people, and I know because I'm one of them, fire and water heavy people, they got a lot of different elements that don't quite mix right, and nothing is solid, and none of it really makes sense because there's no air and earth to really anchor it in. We need earth and air sign people in our life to help us navigate it, but they get frustrated because they don't understand all the water and fiery bullshit, that those types of individuals deal with. The complexity of that, The world was not built for outside of the normal to function in. The quote unquote normal built a system for the normal to function in, and it works very well. But not everybody fits. Not everybody fits. Not everybody can pull a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Not everybody can go and do a quote unquote regular normal job. They don't thrive there. Even if they can do it, they don't thrive there. Their soul is not called there. Fire, water, energy in general, if you've got it strong or significant in your chart, especially your big 3, you can't just be rigid and unfeeling. You can't just be dulled down and smothered out by the heaviness of life. Fire wants to fucking burn, It wants to burn. It wants to glow. It wants to light. It wants to shine. It wants to be present. I think whoever you're dealing with, I think that you inspire them a whole hell of a lot. I think the Ten of Cups energy that you bring as the Queen of Wands brings a lot of inspiration. I think that being the inspiration gets exhausting for you sometimes, right? I think it gets exhausting for you sometimes. If we look at the woman in both of those cards, right? The Queen of Wands clarify the Ten of Chalices. She's got a very similar look on both cards. She's even wearing the same clothes. You know? I think that it's quite tiring being the emotional support for everyone, especially if you are not naturally inclined or naturally strong in water as you might be in like fire or earth or air, right? I think that it's really heavy for you sometimes to be the emotional structure. I think that an opportunity is going to present itself to release some kind of contract or let go of some kind of contract, because the Page of Pentacles is about seizing opportunity, carpe diem type energy. And the Three of Pentacles is about contracts, and that's what's in the reverse. Or there will be something that is no longer an issue. Like it's being dropped. Spirit just said, don't get ahead of it. You don't know what it is. Spirit had me thinking and just went like this to me. It was like, they don't know what it is. It's not anything you would sit here and guess. But there is definitely the release of some kind of tune. I'm hearing so fucking random. Spirit's giving me all kinds of downloads for your reading. Toni Braxton, Another Sad Love Song. I know everybody knows her Unbreak My Heart, but it's not that song. It's called Another Sad Love Song. I'm dealing with allergies, so I can't really sing right now. But it's like, it's just another sad love song rocking my brain. I can't fucking sing. But it's that song. And I'm all torn up. It's just another sad love song rocking my brain. I can't sing for shit. I'm so sorry, y'all. I mean, I can't anyway. But it's worse. But it's worse. I'll crack every note. Anyway. I don't know. You'll figure out what's in there. I definitely heard that song though. The Tower. Now we're going to talk about the middle. So the Tower in the middle with the Queen of Cups reversed, the Four of Swords, and the Devil. The Queen of Cups is reversed, but I'm going to show you her in the upright just so you can see the details on the card with the other two. Okay. she's the Queen of Chalices is writing in a journal. In a really weird way, too. She's not writing in the book, you know, on the pages from left to right. She's writing across the book as if it flips up and down. I feel like, because this is all clarifying the tower, mind you. Okay. This is all clarifying the tower. And these clouds, is it clouds? It's clouds, but it might be smoke, not like sky clouds. But you could see there's this kind of cloud back there. It might be smoke coming out of the building, but it kind of looked like a hand. You know what I mean? Like almost like the hand was coming in to like tackle the tower. It's just the way that I saw it for a second there. It almost looked like a hand was coming through and like ripping the tower out. I think that hearing something's being renegotiated. Because someone, it might be a work obligation. It could be an authority figure that someone is obligated to. But I think someone prayed for peace. And it doesn't come about in the most peaceful way. But I think that someone, if they were emotionally fucked up, okay, we'll just put it in layman's terms. If they were emotionally fucked up and doing some fucked up shit, like you want to talk about emotional warfare, if they were fucking doing some shit, I think something might come up for them that they have to renegotiate some kind of terms. A job might be dropped. If it hasn't already. I think someone, and I don't know who this is. It could be you, it could be your husband, it could be someone else entirely, right? But I feel like and I just got the word angular, so it might be the angular houses in their birth chart that are pinging off with all of the different cosmic energy going on right now. Especially with Mars in opposition to Pluto still. It's almost like they're being forced out of one extreme and into another. Yeah. Renegotiated makes sense. Yeah. Oh, how about that? He decided to drop it. He's just waiting to announce it. How about that? And that might be what this is, right? The announcement of the drop, right? The announcement of the drop and maybe a renegotiation, because look at that Page of Pentacles. It looks like the coin wants to just roll right off his fingertips, doesn't it? Like it wants to drop. But I am getting a very feminine energy with that Queen of Cups in the middle. So whatever you've got going on, I think that you are tired, but you're doing it. You know, the Queen of Wands with the Ten of Cups, I think you're tired, but you're doing it. Someone is navigating themselves, and I think they're on the right track. If that is your husband, then I think he's on the right track. There's something else about this. What is it? Spirit, I'm pulling out Kipper. I'm pulling out a whole new deck. What the? Ooh. Journey. Journey. Give me one more. I got multiple pens on the board now. An occupation. Journey and occupation. Those are the two cards that came out clarifying this. Spirit saying it'll make sense. Just corrected me, more sense. I think it already makes some sense to you. Because I definitely felt like it was potentially work related with the Devil. You might be surprised. Or whoever. What is it? I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe that's the energy. Not to move too fast. Because something might be missed. Like, I'll give a work-related example, right? Because we've got occupation and the Devil out here. It would be like working at a job knowing or not knowing that you have had PTO accrue, and then you either quit or you put your 2 weeks in or whatever, and never cashed in and took your PTO time. So you lost it. So you lost it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, if you have PTO and you're going to leave, make sure you use it. Make sure you use it so you don't lose it. It's like not doing things so fast that a step is missed, you know? Because it might change the decision being made, or not change the decision. That's the wrong word. It's not change the decision being made. It's like finding out afterwards and just wishing you would have looked and done things different and just dug in a little bit, you know? So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. The reading helps in some way, and then it left you with more answers than it did questions. The Green Goblin, that is where I'm going to leave it with you. I know who's reading this is, and it's probably something you're going to replay a few times, but I can already see it now. It'll click and make sense like fucking lightning. Whatever this missing element or piece is, when you're meant to have it, and you'll be like, that's what the fuck she was talking about. Because the Queen of Chalices, not gonna lie, her being in reverse, it's like needing to pause and not do anything emotionally charged. That Four of Swords with that Queen, I wouldn't do anything emotionally charged or reckless. I would really think on things, you know, like if this move is made, what are the potential emotional outcomes, likely or unlikely as they may be, and how do we prepare to feel any given one of them, you know? And if we don't want to feel certain ones, what can we do to ensure that we covered as much as possible? You know, like if regret is something you don't want to feel, go over it and trust yourself. You know, if something comes up later after you took up all that time to figure it out and something was still missed and found in hindsight, then trust it was meant to be found in hindsight, or Spirit would have had you realize it, you know. Trust the process. Good, I'm glad it helps. All right. This fucking secret code name. Moving forward to Bearded Lip Smacker. This fucking name. Bearded Lip Smacker. Okay. If you missed how I got that secret code name, you can go back to the intro. I went over how I got them all. All right. Bearded Lip Smacker. Wow, did I really spend that much time on Green Goblin? It's like 40 fucking minutes. Oh, love you, Green Goblin. All right. Bearded Lip Smacker. Here we go. Yeah, trusting the process. Mm-hmm. All right. Spirit, please. For Bearded Lip Smacker, what do we need to know? She has not forgotten. We got the Two of Pentacles and the Hermit. What else? Two of Cups. Give me some clarities, please. Okay. Two sevens, 4, and 9. I got 2 2s, 2 7s, 2 4s, and a 9. Bottom of the deck is another 4, 4 of Cups. Top is the 5 of Pentacles. All right. And 4 and 5 add up to 9. Okay. 2 7 4 and 9. Bearded lip smacker. Top of the deck is literally a bearded dude. His beard's a little bit longer than the one I saw on my mind, but it's the same color, which is freaky. But, you may be dealing with someone who, to be real frank, might not really have a pot to piss in. I mean, they might literally do, but energetically speaking, or like grounds to stand on, they might literally have no fucking pot to piss in, or no room to speak, or no... They're not respectable. Okay? You might be dealing with someone whose energy it's like it's repulsive. Their energy is repulsive. They might not mean or intend for their energy to come off that way. They might not be a bad person, but the energy, the vibe they're in, it's repulsive. And you feel the Hanged Man is under that, right? The Hanged Man is underneath the Four of Chalices. This is the top and bottom of the deck, right? I think that you want to extend a hand and help, like a part of you sees it, sees the suffering of this person, and wants to reach out because like their hand is extended, but it's almost like you don't know if they're extending it for your help or not. And so it's like you go to extend your hand to help them and then pull it back and just wish them better, wish them well, and hope that it works out. It's almost like you wanted to get your hand in it and just took your hand off instead. Like you want to help. But this person, I don't think you know for sure if they really want your help or not, and so you're not. Because it's like you're not going to help unless they want it. You're not going to help unless they want the help. But with the Hanged Man underneath that card, like it really does feel like you feel a little bit stuck spiritually not being able to help this person. Eight of Swords. It puts you inside a lot of mental conflict inside your own head because, like I said, you want to help, you hold compassion, but you feel like you can't because they don't really want it. Has you all up in your head about it. This person's all up in their head themselves. They're kind of consumed by their own inner battles. This person might really struggle with nothing ever being enough. Like nothing is good enough. Nothing and no one is good enough. This is someone who will find a reason to declare something's not perfect ASAP. Nothing is perfect. And it's everybody's fault. When they are not perfect. Like, if you're not perfect, it's your fault. If they are not perfect, it's their fault. And if they're not perfect, it's their fault. But if they themselves are not perfect, and they're dealing with issues and have problems, it's everybody else's fault, right? It's not their fault. But if it's you, it's your fault, you know, but it's not them if it's their fault. I think you're dealing with someone who has a really hard time with everything not being good enough. It's like insatiable, right? Nothing's enough. And the Seven of Cups. I think you have someone who's doing some emotional manipulation. I think you might even have a little bit of gaslighting, like someone's blowing smoke up your ass. Or there are a lot of talk and no action. And the things that they say might pull on emotional strings. But they're doing it to keep you in a place that they can predict or are familiar with. It's like keeping you under control. Because, you know, God forbid you do anything drastic to love yourself and cut them out of the equation. Two of Pentacles with the Seven of Pentacles. Right, Seven of Pentacles is clarifying the Two of Pentacles. Another 9, right? 2, 7. This Two of Pentacles is really interesting. Look at this for a second. Because it's got the 3 childish looking figures, but they're satyrs. They're all satyrs in the Two of Pentacles. And one of them has like a jousting, whatever the hell it's called. The other one has a cornucopia/horn. And the other one's just kind of chilling. And then there's more like children imagery on this card. Like maybe you only have one child, but it feels like you've got 3. And it's a lot of work. Like you're carrying the whole load on your shoulder. And keeping an eye on the kids. The quote-unquote kids. I'm hearing a song by Kings of Leon. I walked a mile away. And now I've got your shoes. That's it. It says, I walked a mile in your shoes. And now I'm a mile away. And I've got your shoes. Oh, what is that song? Hold on. Of course I had a software update. God damn it. Set up later. I'm calling my son. Yo, I'm live right now, but I'm hoping you have an answer because I know how you love Kings of Leon. What is that song, the title of the song, where he's talking about, I've walked a mile in your shoes and now I'm a mile away and I've got your shoes? Yeah. I can hear the whole song in my head. And I don't know the title. What is it? Comeback story. Comeback story. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you and I love you. All right, bye. I know he would know. I knew it. I love that kid so much. Comeback story. I would listen to that song because one, it's a great song and a great band, but there's something about that song. You might need someone who needs to walk a mile in your shoes. They need to walk. They might need to walk 20 miles in your shoes. They don't know what it's like to be you. You know, the Hermit, clarified by the Four of Swords and the Four of Wands. Again, you know, the child with the mother. I feel like it's almost like you ripped a page out, right? Hermit, Virgo energy. He's holding a crumbled piece of paper here and an open book there, and it looks like he ripped it from the book, right? Or someone did. And he's got it like crumpled, you know, like balled up in his hand. It's almost as if you let something slide for whatever reason and ignored it. Right, ripped it out the journal like it was never written. Just pretended it wasn't a problem, you know. But now you're looking back at that ripped page and you're like, this is a problem. Like, I can't just rip the page out and pretend I never wrote it. I think you want to be alone. With maybe just your one kid who's not a little devil, right? All these little satyrs, right? These quote unquote children, because they don't have to be children. They could be adults, you know. Metaphorically, they're coming through like little devils, right? Little like children. But you've got one child who's like an angel and you just want to be alone with your angel kid. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And I think you know, the Two of Chalices with the Knave of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a centaur, right? Sag energy, very weary, strung out a little bit. I'm sure that centaur has seen better days. That's interesting. If you do have one child that's kind of like your angel, literally, metaphorically, they're already having conversations with their spirit team, their higher self inside their mind, about defense and maybe defending you in some way against the others. And they know it's not going to be easy. They know it's a lose-lose situation. Like whoever the little devils are. It's almost like this person is having conversations in their head about, you know, like taking one for the team. For you. They know they're going to sacrifice themselves and put themselves on the chopping block or put themselves in the crosshairs of someone's bullshit, and they don't care. They don't actually want what or who that's keeping you stuck, that you're carrying all this weight for. They don't like it. They don't like that you're carrying all this weight for bullshit. I'm pretty sure whoever this little soulmate is with you, this angel, would prefer it just be you and them. I don't think they really are attracted to the idea of being close with other people or having them in their close life, you know, space. Give me one more overall. Especially on those last three cards. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think whoever the soulmate is, I've got a few different possibilities. They all look at you as very mature and respectable. Okay. All three of them. But I think you'd be surprised who comes to your defense. It could be a much older gentleman, someone who you would consider old or a senior, you know, like gray and wrinkly and probably shrunken a couple inches from their heyday, right? Older person. A more I feel like a more middle-aged person, but maybe someone who's just a few years younger than you. And then we have a child. Okay. But you have people around as few as one and as many as like 3 to 5. You've got people that will defend you when the moment arises that you need defending. And they don't care what shit it starts. Especially if you did realize that you should not have been ignoring something and did, and that revelation comes through. Because it's going to start to manifest in some which way, shape, or form. Tons of synchronicities, though. So on a real note, like definitely look out for 2, 4, 7, and 9 in different patterns. And know that something is coming to your defense. I don't know if anything is shifting, but it definitely feels like something is coming together in defense of you. And it feels like you're going to come out on top because of it. Like your future is going to progress and your path is going to advance because of it. Stick around for the guidance at the end. I'm going to pull a guidance card, and I just have a feeling. I was like, what else do I need to pull on this? And Spirit was like, we're going to pull guidance at the end. I was like, okay. Okay. We'll do that. But yeah, 2 is a number of balance and unity. 4 is a vibration of stability and the archangels. 7 is a number of divine miracle and intervention. And the number 9 is to wrap up cycles and find some kind of closure so that you can move forward to the 1, right? So plays on words. Spirit's having fun with you. And word magic, like I said, to get you ready for like the 1. But I didn't mean it in the way that I heard it after I said it. Because it could also be taken as like, get you ready for the 1. Like the 1, like the person, the 1. You know? I think that might be happening to you more than you realize in your everyday conversations with just people in general. I think if you paid attention to it, or even reflected on conversations over the last few weeks or even months, like you would probably find a lot of double meaning words or phrases, right, in a conversation. It's like Spirit's trying to get messages to you as clear as day, but they can't just say it. So they're just literally saying it, but it's coming out with a different intention. Anyway, I know you know what I mean. So we're going to leave it there. All right. Spirit's drawing some stuff in. And it's crazy. It's like every time Spirit tells me to drop it, I'm also picking it back up and have one more thing to say. You might be doing the same thing. I feel like every time you try and drop something, it's like something else needs to be said. And maybe it is that missing page in the book. You know, maybe it is that missing page in the book. You got to pick it up. You got to pick it up. All right. Coveted Pearl. Let's timestamp you. Coveted Pearl. All right. What do we need to know? Coveted Pearl. She has not forgotten. Coveted Pearl. Secret code name Coveted Pearl, and those who would be drawn to the message in divine time. What do they need to know? And their highest good with this theme of she has not forgotten, right? Your feminine energy. What is going on? Coveted Pearl, please. We've got Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Four of Wands. And the Three of Cups. Clarities, please. That's crazy. I shuffled the deck, right? Y'all hear me shuffle in between readings. And each card flew out individually. None of them flew out in chunks. They all flew out individually. Hey, Sagey. Is it Sagey? Saggy? How you doing? Saggy Christine. Nice to meet ya. Bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. And Two of Pentacles is on top. Okay. We got progression numbers 2, 3, 4, 5 are on the board. That is it. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of them being 4s. So we've got 4, 4, 4 here. I've also got double 2s. So Coveted Pearl. Now we went over this in the very beginning. Sagey? Good. Thank you. Thank you for helping me pronounce it. I appreciate that. Sagey, thank you. I'm doing good. I feel like your intuition is talking to you and you're juggling really a lot of major arcana on the bottom. And the numbers go backwards. It's 2, 1, 0. The High Priestess, the Magician, and then the Fool. Like a countdown. Okay. I'm getting some interesting information downloads. Okay. You know. Clairvoyant knowing, not factual knowing, but clairvoyant knowing. You know that someone took a gamble with spirit. The Emperor is here with the 7 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. Underneath of that, that's not a great combination of cards. The Emperor with the 7 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. Like, that's someone in a position of power who's lying and or stealing or cheating because they're wounded. And they're defensive of themselves. Like, this is why I did it. They're defending their 7 of Swords energy. It's almost like they know it, that they fucked up, but the apology's not. They're not really this is going to come out so harsh. I'm so sorry because I love you. It's almost like they're not really sorry because they've validated it to themselves. And this is why. And I'm not going to be sorry because I understand why I did it. And they might still say sorry because you need to hear it. But this is a foundational issue. This is a foundational issue. It keeps them more detached and focused on necessity. But this person made a deal with the divine. Like, I promise if you give me this or you let this happen, I'll do this and I'll do that, I swear, you know, like talking to God or whatever they believe in, you know, but it's like someone tried to make a deal with spirit. Like, you show me that you exist. You prove to me that you exist and give me what I'm asking for, right? You prove it to me, God, source, creator, spirit. You prove it to me. And when you prove yourself to me that you can give me this that I want, then I'll do what you want and prove myself to you, right? Only it doesn't work that way. Like, it doesn't work that way. And that might be the fundamental, like, foundational issue. Someone thinks they can make deals with the divine. Well, if the divine don't prove it, then I don't have to. It's a scapegoat mentality. Well, I told spirit, you know, I talked to the divine, I prayed, this is what I wanted. And if the divine showed up for me, then I was going to show up for the divine. You know, I know the divine's been wanting me to quit this addiction for X amount of years and forever long. And, well, if the divine gives me what I want, I'll finally let go of the addiction because, you know, God proved itself and gave me what I wanted. But if spirit doesn't show up, if God don't show up and give me what I wanted, well, I'm not going to stop what spirit doesn't like me doing. Why would I? They didn't show up for me, right? Spirit didn't show up for me, so I'm not going to show up for spirit. It's that kind of mentality. Whether you realize it or not, that's the way someone functions. They make deals. And then when the quote unquote divine doesn't come through and give them what they swore they would fix themselves for, spirit just did this. They don't do it. Like, you need to do it. You do. That is why you are making the deal with spirit, because you want something that you need spirit to give you, and spirit needs you to do something that spirit wants you to give it. And so if spirit don't show up for this person's just like, all right, well, I'm not showing up for spirit then. But even if spirit showed up for this person and gave them what they wanted, and I think spirit has before. Spirit saying at least twice, it gave this person an opportunity to get what they wanted, what they prayed for, because they made a deal. You give me this that I want, and I'll do this or give you this that you want, right? Spirit. But this person did not follow through on their end of the deal twice already. And you know it. Spirit is saying you know it. They did not come through on 2 different quote unquote deals they made with spirit, where spirit followed through and they did not. The Queen of Pentacles with the 4 of Swords. Someone is very financially stable, or they're very financially mature and responsible, and they just want fucking peace, right? The Queen of Pentacles with the 4 of Swords. They just want peace. They're still vibrant and beautiful in soul. Like, you could be fucking 60, 70 years old and still feel inside your mind and inside your heart like you're 20 or 30, They still got a lot of, you still have a lot of vibrance, a lot of color. I feel like this person and all that they bring into your life. And I'm going to clarify what I just said in a minute, because I'm looking at the 4 of Swords, right? The 4 of Swords was clarifying the Queen of Pentacles. But you can see it has Venus, right, on the card. Well, Venus is also on this card. So we've got a lot of Venus energy. You and this person may have some strong Venus connections. Venus could also be playing a significant role in your or their chart right now, because she did appear twice in your spread. I think your angels are holding you back from helping this person. Like, don't you fucking dare do it. Don't you dare do it. Like, we know you want to. We know you want to, but these 2 cards came out in your spread. They were just in the last reading. They were on the top and bottom of the deck, and they came out next to each other just like this on the table. You want to help someone, and your angels are telling you, don't. There is something inside your intuition telling you don't help this person. And the reason being is because on some level they made a fucking deal with the divine and botched it. Spirit came through with their end of the bargain, and this person did not. And now Spirit's like, don't help them. Don't help them. They had a deal with me, and they didn't follow through, and there's ramifications for that choice. You cannot bail them out of this. Your angels are talking to you like, it's okay. We know you're vulnerable. We know you're vulnerable right now, right? Venus, femininity in the nude, right? We know you're vulnerable right now. Your heart space is vulnerable. But you cannot help this person. This is a possible high connection, someone you may or may not have children with, right? But the Four of Wands is that, you know, wanting happily ever after visualization process with this Five of Pentacles person. You're having Four of Wands visualizations with a Five of Pentacles person. Four of Wands, you know, back in the day when twin flames were the big thing and they were all over fucking YouTube, you know, all over everywhere. Everybody was doing twin flame reads and talking about twin flames and twin flame counterparts and blah, blah, blah. Every time the Four of Wands comes up, people are like, it's the twin flame card, right? 1111, the two wands on either side, 1111. And it's like, what the Four of Wands really is, though, because the Suit of Wands, it's fire, it's spirit, it's visualization, it's imagination, it's magic. It's when we visualize happily ever after, when we visualize it. Not because it's, you know, definitively coming, like, oh, Four of Wands, this is a twin flame, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it is someone who prompts happily ever after visualizations in you. You will look at twin flames completely different when the weight of what I just said hits you. They are not a quote unquote highest, perfect partner that you're meant to be with all the time. More oftentimes than not, they are just someone who prompts you to think that way and visualize happily ever after with them. Sometimes you visualize happily ever after and feel that way with a true counterpart. Sometimes you feel that way about a fucking karmic catalyst who's here to teach you a big lesson about yourself, right? To aid in the facilitation of your lesson learning. I think you visualized happily ever after with a Five of Pentacles person. And when I say a Five of Pentacles person, I mean they are depressed. They are in lack mentality. They feel like they're rolling snake eyes and blame life for not working out for them. Well, this happened, so I made this choice, and this choice didn't work out and sent me down this path. And on this path, I made this choice, and this choice sent me down this path. And it's all because I had to make that other choice back there. You know, I didn't have any other choice that I could make, and life just shit on me when I made it. And it's like, okay, but what part of that mentality is not being addressed that you keep rolling snake eyes and life keeps shitting on you? Like, what is it? There's a lack mindset here. There's depression here with whoever this is. And they're quite run down. Like they're quite run down. This is not someone who is waking up in the morning and taking a shower and fixing their hair and putting on really nice, you know, presentable clothes to be out and whatever, because they want to do that for themselves. They want to take that shower and it feels good, and they want to look clean and put together like they care about themselves, and they want to go out and say hi to people and not be, you know, embarrassed at the state of their self. Where you might be with a person who wakes up, takes that shower, fixes their hair in some which way, shape, or form, and puts on some kind of clean clothes, some semblance of clothes, but doesn't really do it because they want to feel that way about themselves. They do it because they have to. Like a habit. but the energy they're in is it's rough. They made a deal with spirit that they did not make good on. So until they make good on it, until they follow through on it, like really follow through on it, they're not going to get what they want. Spirit will block it. Spirit will block it from coming through, because I think Spirit's like, no, you owe me now. Like, if you want what I gave you, I want what you promised me for it. You know? You told me that if I gave you this or got this back or did whatever, that you would do X, Y, Z or A, B, C, and you didn't. So I took back what you asked me for. Spirit's like, I took it back. You gave me your word. I trusted you on your word, and you showed me that your word is shit. So I took it back. This has nothing to do with you. This is between someone else and the divine. And I think you're being told to chill and take your hands off it. Take your hands off it. Like, it is not your job to help them right now. I think that it's emotionally confusing for you, because you're trying to stay put together. You're listening to your intuition. You kind of have a feeling. You're a little concerned that everything might fall on your head, but you're keeping composure. And this person is trying to pretend like they didn't make that fucking deal, and they're trying to get whatever back. Like they never made that deal. But they did. And Spirit, she has not forgotten. She has not forgotten, right? That is the theme of this message. Make good on it. Make good on the deal. That would be my best advice to whoever it is. Make good on the deal. Or accept the fact that you are not getting what you asked for because you didn't, because you chose not to make good on it. Either way, it's your choice. You're not getting punished. You're literally just choosing the outcome based off of what actions you're taking. No one is forcing you to do any of these choices. Like, you're making them yourself. If you make a deal with Spirit, well, then you made a deal with Spirit. Like, were you joking? Because it clearly didn't sound like a joke to Spirit, and Spirit took it your word. So how come you don't live by the same standard? I think that you're dealing... I think you're putting too much time and work into something that does not require that much time and work from you, like you think right now. I think you just need to focus on what matters for you. You know, your kids, your future, the things that are important for you to build and create. But I think you are over involved with this. Main female, wealthy man, child in the middle. You might have children with this person. You may be a child of this person. But you are the main energy. The main female type energy. And they represent money. They represent patience, because you could see right here there's like a little glass with different workings in it, and then there's this ticker tape coming out of it. I remember seeing something. It's symbolic to the stock market, right? Someone took a gamble. They took a gamble with some spiritual wealth. I think they fucked up. I think you are in main character energy, but they aren't. They are not in main character energy. They are not in main character energy. The Coveted Pearl. You know, we were talking about that in the intro too, where Spirit kind of gave me this whole story about the pearl and how the pearl ended up with the clam that it was with and why it ended up leaving. Like, there was no room for the presence of the pearl that the clam found in its life. There was no room for that pearl. The clam tried to claim it, tried to own it, but then didn't create an environment to allow the pearl to grow with it. The pearl outgrew it and continued to move on because the clam wasn't growing with the pearl like it coulda, shoulda, woulda. It wasn't. But the clam coveted that pearl and claimed it like, it's mine. It's mine. That's mine. No, it's not. It wasn't yours when you found it. It wasn't yours while you had it, and it's not yours while it rolls away. You can't own it. Like, someone looks at you and you are theirs. Mine. You are mine. But I didn't make any room for you to be a part of my inner space and my inner world. You're going to have to stay out there and be at a distance. I got other things I'm building and working on, and, well, there's no room for you in here. You take up a lot of space with your beautiful energy. I don't have enough space to hold it. You're playing with someone who plays small. Play small. You are in main character energy. They are not. She has not forgotten is the theme. Like, just because someone calls you mine doesn't mean they treat you right. People say that's my dog and beat the dog too. That's mine. I love that dog. That's my dog. But they'll beat the dog until the dog is terrified and crying and not wanting to come in or eat because it's afraid of somebody. But it's mine. Don't you take my dog. That's mine. Okay, ma'am, sir, you're abusing the dog, though. Like, it's like spirits listening to this person talk. Well, I want them. They're mine. I've told you, spirit, they're mine. I would do this. I would do that. I would do anything if you brought them back into my life. Spirit's like, okay, well, spirit put you in the position you were in with them. And now what? You gonna be with them just because you belong to them? You are theirs. But they beat the dog. Think about what I'm saying. People love their car. It's my car. I love my car. And they beat the shit out of it. They're not careful with it. They're reckless with it. They don't fix it when it needs attention. They bang it up, kick it, take their frustrations out on it when they're pissed. But it's my car. I love my car. Okay, but you beat up your car and you're reckless with your car. You're reckless and careless with your car. It's no different with this person. This person looks at you as a thing that belongs to them, and they claim that they love you and they care about you and would do anything for you. And then, metaphorically speaking, they beat it up. They're careless and reckless with it. They're running it into the ground. Keep your hands off whatever is going on. That is between them and spirit. They have to make that right. They have to make that right for themselves before you come into the picture, re-enter the picture. Like, they have to figure out in what fucking world they thought that spirit would give them what they wanted and that they could keep it without making good on the deal. I know spirit has done it. I know spirit listens because I have had those conversations with spirit and showed up for it. I know that spirit comes through on things that people pray for sometimes, especially when spirit don't think they're going to fucking answer, or when they don't think spirit's going to answer. Y'all know what I meant. I always giggle at myself when I watch the replays because I catch all my slips of the tongue in hindsight, and I'm like, Grace. Anyway. Yeah, I think that I think this person needs to get things right before they can move forward in some which way, shape, or form. And I think that this message was important for you to hear because there is a part of you that intuitively is empathic and understands them with the high priestess. But that same intuition is also what is telling you that you really do need to stay hands off. And let them navigate this lesson with spirit, however long it takes them. Because until they make it right with spirit, spirit ain't going to do shit for them. They're gonna have to do this 100% on their own. Spirit's not cutting them any breaks. Spirit's not cutting them any breaks. It's like going to the casino and sitting down at the table and talking to the dealer like, hey, if you can fish them cards over so that I win, I'll give you half. The dealer's looking at you like, for real, for real? You're like, yeah, dude. I swear to God, you get those cards to me just right, and I win. I'll split it with you. The dealer's like, all right, bet. So the dealer does what they do with the cards, gets this person to win. This person wins all this fucking money and then leaves and takes the dealer's cut with them. I think the casino would not appreciate the person trying to make that deal, because obviously they're talking people into breaking rules. But not only would they not be too happy with the person who made the deal and didn't make out and fucked over their, you know, everybody else at the table, essentially. But now the dealer is also in trouble. I think that this person is going to bring you in like an innocent bystander that gets hurt in the process. Because like I said, it has nothing to do between you and them. It has everything to do with them and spirit. And them not being right with spirit. I think the more you involve yourself, it just makes it worse for you. It just makes it worse for you. The dealer did not benefit at all from helping whoever this person is. Just like the divine. Divine didn't fare well. They didn't get their end of it. They put up their end, but they didn't get their end. And now what? Let time handle this one. If you want to keep tabs on the situation, then keep tabs on the situation. But actually involving yourself in the process, I would be really selective with when you choose to do more than just witness, you know, getting yourself involved too much between them and what doesn't have anything to do with you, right? All right. Let's get a couple cards out. I'm going to pull from, if I don't accidentally shut the dang live down, the Magical Spirit Oracle by Alexis Rakin. And I think I'm going to pull the Shaman's Dream Oracle. All right. And this is anybody. This is not guidance for any particular secret code name or whatever. It's just, this is the guidance. If you felt guided to get it, it's here. It's here. So let's see. We'll do guidance first, timestamp. Where's the guidance cards, please? For whomever needs it. In divine time, what do they need as guidance moving forward? All right, and then what is the last guidance card? I'm just going to pull them both. Hollow boned in the hand. These are our guidance cards. $28, $31, and $21. Okay. Keywords: psyche, self-love, beauty, teachability, and remembering that the universe is your partner. Do not be ashamed of your thorns or your flowers. Do not be ashamed, not of your thorns or of your flowers. Duality, psyche, self-acceptance, beauty. The affirmation, I accept all parts of myself. I am divine and whole. Says the red rose, a guide, has come to pay you an important visit. She seeks to heal and ease a pain in your mind and spirit. There is a shame and guilt for who you are lurking in your darkest corners. It is holding you back in ways you may not realize. She wishes to shine a light there, to show you how to love your darkness into the light, how to turn your demons into angels. The thorns we grow come from a place of pain. They are a result of our need to protect ourselves from outside forces. They are defense mechanisms. Hurt that we can sometimes cause others comes from being hurt ourselves. If you try to pick a rose, it will prick you with its thorns. You might have goodwill, but the rose doesn't know that, and it's been fooled and hurt before. If you try and pick a rose, it will prick you with its thorns. You might have goodwill, but the rose doesn't know that. It's been fooled and hurt before. However, the thorns are also what makes the rose strong, whole, and powerful. Her thorns are the rose's self-worth, her ability to stand up for herself, her discernment, her tenacity, and her persistence to keep going. The things that sometimes harden us also have great gifts to teach us within. The flowers are what the world loves to see us for, our personality, appearance, what we do. They are also what we can be judged and criticized for if we are also too beautiful, too different, too colorful, too big, too small, too much, too little, not enough. All the red rose is to remind us that we were hand created by the divine, that we are divinity itself. This card is a positive omen that you are reaching or will reach a point in your journey where you learn how to accept all of yourself, your whole, full, and most authentic self, the magic, the mess, the mundane, and the thorns too. This will unlock so much grace and power within you. The beauty you feel within will shine out of your being, pouring out into the world around you. Practice self-love at this time. Mirror work can be extremely powerful now. Meditating on love, appreciation, and acceptance of yourself while sitting in front of a mirror. You can find guided meditations on YouTube through this. Speaking aloud, self-loving affirmations to the mirror is also powerful. Do it as often as you can. If you've been following me on my channel for a while, you know what a huge advocate I am of mirror work and having conversations with yourself. I've talked about it multiple times over the years. I will wink at myself in the mirror and be like, how the fuck you doing? Hey. Looking extra fluffy this morning with your troll doll ass hair. Nice. Tell myself I love me. You know, having that conversation just the other day, being proud of myself and saying it out loud. It's not like I was saying it in my head. I was literally talking out loud to myself, gave no fucks. Like, Grace needs to hear it. Grace needs to hear it. I'm proud of you. You did a lot. That was a lot to override, and you did it. I'm proud of you. Like, you need to have this conversation out loud with yourself. Like, you deserve so much. You deserve so much. It doesn't even matter how much you've already had. You still deserve so much regardless. The only reason why you don't get what you deserve is because at some point you've convinced yourself that less than was worth settling for and it was okay. Well, I deserve better, but I do like this and I do like that and they are good for this and I guess that's okay. You've got thorns. Stop being ashamed of your thorns like you're afraid you might cut somebody. Damn straight you might cut somebody. Somebody manhandling you and not handling you with enough time, care, or attention to notice your thorns. Just grabbing you up like they could just fucking take your energy with them anywhere. It's like, nah, bitch. No. No, it doesn't work like that. People are not like that. You having thorns is sovereignty. That's sovereignty. Your energy will not infringe upon my energy unless you are given permission. And you're only given permission with time, care, attention. You can't just rip me off the fucking plant. Like, the fuck? How do you want people to handle you? Gently? Considerately? Respectfully? Or do you want them just pulling your energy around? Like, come on. Come on. All right. 2 more. And these are from this shaman's dream. And I will say just one more thing about this card. Think your beautiful thoughts and speak your beautiful words. I don't care if you've got a million correct, factually accurate, negative things to say about yourself. Damn it. Focus on the good one right now. Yes, you may not be completely organized. Yes, you might be a fucking mess. Yes, you might have a lint ball stuck in your fucking hair. Yes, your car might be dirty and a wreck right now. Yes, you might have pet hair all over your fucking house and dishes in your sink. Yes, you might be a psychotic mess and be breaking down crying in your bathroom because that's the space you have right now. But if you're strong and you got up and you went to work today, despite all of it, and still came home and you got your bills paid because you're still showing up for work, then be proud of your goddamn win. Give it to yourself. Despite all the shit that's a wreck, you still got one thing done that needed to get done and you didn't let it fall to the wayside and completely fucking crumble. Give yourself a win. Give yourself a win. Be proud of yourself for the win. And when you can, and you have the energy for it, give yourself 2. Give yourself the win. Don't focus on all the losses. Yeah, they're there. We all know they're fucking there. We don't need to give all the energy in that direction, though. We can accept the losses for what they were, accept the trouble for what it is, and just choose to focus on the fucking win right now. Because sometimes it's just that gets you into the next cycle of winning. You got to start winning somewhere. And you can't do it if you won't give yourself the first win. You got to give yourself at least one win to start. So, hollow bone. Teachability, humility. Being empty so the wind of spirit can breathe through you. It says, the hollow wing bone of an eagle is a flute for the shamans. The appearance of the hollow bone invites you to become empty of your notions of who you are, to check your ego at the door, and to know that this is not about you. Relinquish your need to be right and to express an opinion, as this will not change anything right now. You are being called to practice humility. Hollow yourself out and hear the wind blow through you and play you like a flute. You will learn the language of the squall and the storm and understand the message in the summer breeze. There is an important communication waiting for you. Humility is the swiftest path. Drop all notions and titles or labels that bolster your ego. Eliminate the doer and allow things to happen of their own accord. Remember that you can accomplish most anything if you are willing to let someone else take credit for it. There's so much fucking truth in that. It's fucking crazy. You can accomplish most anything if you are not willing to let someone else take credit for it. Hollow Bone has come to caution you to believe only 50% of what others think and only 10% of what you think. Trust your experience, not what you have read in sacred books or holy texts. This will allow you to turn apparent danger into opportunity. Remember that you are an insignificant grain of sand in the grand scheme of life, and as important as the sun. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when the book says check your ego? Drop the notions and titles and labels that bolster your ego. What comes to mind that you... I'll put it in this way. It's not anything you think you want credit for. It's the things that you feel like it's your job, your mission to fix it or do it or whatever. And it's not your job. That is not the truth. That's your ego. Can it 100% undeniably and undoubtedly be classified as true? Because we could think like, well, I'm this person's mother, right? Label. I have this role that I need to play as their mother. I'm their mother. That's the label. I need to help them. I need to support them. If I don't help them and support them, then they might not make it, right? Your ego will tell you that you're important. Ask yourself, is it 100% beyond all doubt true? Beyond any doubt, 100% true. You are their mother and you need to help them or they will not be capable without you. They will not be able to help themselves, heal, get better, improve, succeed without you. Is it true? Is it actually true? Not do you want it to be true? Is it really true? Do they really need you to survive? Think about it. My mother said that shit to me. She told me if I didn't listen to her, I would fail. That I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't live out of my 20s if I didn't listen to her and do what she said. She was my mother. She knows better. She's not me, though. She's not me living in my life, living in my shoes. I didn't listen to a damn thing she said. I didn't listen to a damn thing she fucking said. And I'm glad I didn't. She thought I was going to fail without her. Was it true? No. Struggle? Sure. Learn a lot? Sure. Fall on my face a couple times and dust myself and get back off? Sure. Shattered a couple times. Picked up all those dusty pieces and put them back together. Yeah. Did I fail, though? Not even close. Not even close. No, I didn't fail. It wasn't true. Let yourself be like hollow bone. Let spirit move through you. Allow yourself to receive spirit. You don't got to go hunt the wind. The wind finds you. You can never go hunt the wind. The wind will literally blow away somewhere else if it wants. The wind finds you. Stop trying to make it happen. And maybe just let it happen. Just a little bit. Give yourself a win. Let spirit move things. You know? Is it true? Really let your ego go on this one. You are as insignificant as a grain of sand and as important as the brightest sun. You've got to remember simultaneously that you're both. Is it true? Ask yourself that question. Is it true? All right, last one. In the hand. Feeling secure, taken care of, the universe is your partner. Something amazing happens when you contemplate your intimate relationship with your higher power. How do you engage it? Perhaps you might have seen things through the influence of your religious background, or maybe you have been exposed to other ways of making that connection real for yourself. It doesn't matter the source of your understanding. What matters is what works for you. For example, if you believe in a punitive God, you will be afraid of punishment for your transgressions. If you believe in a version of a higher power that blesses you, you may find it easier to surrender to a relationship of radical trust. Right now, if you imagine relaxing, curled up in the hands of the divine, visualize that. Just you, sitting curled up in the hands of the divine. How does that make you feel? Can you then turn over your needs and desires to that divine power and trust that you're safe and secure and don't have to do anything at all to feel that way? Grace is activated in your life now. You're in good hands. Your work, family, relationships, home, everything. You've done all you can. So now is the time to rest and recharge instead of producing, doing, acting, strategizing. Hot tea, a good book, and a soft blanket are in order. If You needed a reason to fucking chill, right? Let the divine work for you. Like, will you always have to take some kind of action, make some kind of choice? Yeah, because your intuition pings off, and that's your feminine energy saying, hey, masculine part of the self, like, can you choose it? It's yin and yang. You know, you can't just be in your feminine energy and not take any actions at all. The actions are going to be different, though. Instead of, like, you know, going out of your way to do some grand plan date, for example. Maybe you just meet up somewhere and be like, let's play it by ear. You don't have to immaculately plan some date. Why don't we go meet up and wing it? See where the conversation, the mood takes us. And let yourself receive the experience instead of going through all this effort to just creating it a certain way. Like, yeah, you can plan a date and we're going to pick you up at 1 and then we're going to go to the park. And then from the park, after we were there for about an hour and we walk this path, we'll go to this specific place and I'm going to order you this so that you could try it. And then we'll go here and then, you know, I'll take you back there and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's all structured. You're creating it. Masculine energy is creating all that to make it happen and have it be what it is. Feminine energy will say, hey, I'm guided to meet up with you. You want to meet up around 1? That was the choice made. Sure, I'll meet you at 1. Well, what do you want to do from there? I don't know. Let's just wing it. And from there, you walk around the park on this path for an hour and you go out to eat and they order you this because they want you to try it. And it just flows out that way. Just worked out that way. And there's something about the magic of it just flowing. That's what Spirit's kind of asking you to do. Like, yeah, you're going to have some choices that you got to make. Your yang is not obsolete or unimportant. But instead of going above and beyond and over the top to make something work or make something happen, like maybe just trust you're in Spirit's hands a little bit. Trust that Spirit has you safe inside its hands. It's holding you. You're safe in its hands. Trust a little bit. Flow a little bit. You don't need to control it. Squeeze it any tighter and you'll choke it out. You know what I mean? Like, loosen up a little bit. Loosen up a little bit. Go with the flow. Stop trying to control it. It doesn't even matter what reading you got today. That is great advice for every single one of them. Take your hands off. Stop trying to control it. Let it flow a little bit more. Let it flow a little more. Like Frosty doesn't have to stay frosty and chilly and cold forever. It's a season and a reason. Let go of control. Spirit might decide you deserve to feel something other than a little bit of tension. You know? Between you and outside experience. Maybe Spirit has something a little better up its sleeve. How do you know? You let go. You let go. I hope whoever caught this message in divine time, any part of it, right? Whether you watch the whole thing or pieces or found yourself in different parts on different days, an hour later, like, trust that you have come a really long way from where you used to be. And you are beautifully the same and just as beautifully, radically different, all at the same time. There are a lot of beautiful things about myself that, despite being beaten by life over the years, I kept those beautiful parts. I love them. I think they're beautiful. I don't care how much any other energy in the world has tried to break it or tell me that that beautiful part of me is garbage. I'm sorry. I don't remember asking your opinion about my empathy. I think my empathy is beautiful. I think my ability to love with my whole damn self is beautiful. I think my unshakable loyalty and my fierce protection of the people I love is beautiful. You want to beat that out of me and tell me it's weak? I didn't ask for your opinion, and I don't care. I'm keeping the beautiful parts of myself. But the things that I've outgrown, like being a pushover, not being able to say no, being afraid of upsetting people, being afraid of arguments, being afraid of causing ripples, being afraid of ruffling feathers, being afraid of irreversible change. Like those parts I let go, though. Those parts I let go. Afraid to burn a bridge. I am so damn comfortable. Let me tell you. I am so blessed in my ability to throw the goddamn match and burn the bridge and not give a fuck anymore. I have mastered it beautifully. I have come a really long way from being afraid to burn a bridge to go ahead and give me a reason. Go ahead and give me a reason. Give me one good reason, because I will flick that match so fucking fast. Bye. Bye. Like, we just crossed for a brief split flash of the timeline, and either we decided we were going to walk that timeline together, or we just flashed in and out. No problem. Like, I will burn that bridge as fast as it showed up. Do not tempt me. And I'm really, really good with that. Like, really good with it. It was so the other direction when I started this life, being so afraid to throw a match and burn a bridge, and taking the onslaught of, physical, mental, emotional, psychological, financial, abuse, because I refused to burn the goddamn bridge. Well, I can't unburn it. No shit. That's the point of burning it. The whole point of burning the bridge is so that you can't fix it. You want it to stay burned. Like, that is the point. It is necessary sometimes. It is necessary. Not always, but sometimes it is necessary. And you do have to get to a point where you're comfortable throwing the match on the drop of a dime, because some people are going to require that. Is everybody? No. No, not everybody needs to be burned at the drop of a dime, but spirit needs to know that you are capable of doing that when needed, that you can listen to your intuition, listen to your feelings, understand that something is not acceptable to your soul, and burn it. Nope, that is not for me. Burned. People do it on Tinder all the fucking time. Swipe left. That person got burned. The bridge got burned. No problem. Right? That's what people fucking do, and they're swiping left. That bridge burned without a second thought. You didn't even give it a shot. Nope. Something tipped you off, and you were like, nope. Left. Swipe left. Nope. There's nothing wrong with that. Burn bridges. Be specific. I had this conversation with Tanya earlier this afternoon. Be specific. Tell the universe what you want. What do I want? Be ready to burn the bridge so fucking fast. If it's not what you want. It's fine. And is it true? Right? We talked about that question. Is it true that you don't want it no matter what? Is that 100% true? Because if you asked me a year ago, would I date somebody that drinks? My answer would have been 100% guaranteed no. If they drink at all, the answer is no. I don't want to date them. I have severe trauma around alcoholism. I don't care if people drink around me. I don't care if they get shit-faced. But my partner, I had a very serious trigger response to my partner, or someone flattering the idea or humoring the idea of being my partner drink in front of me. It scares the shit out of me. Scares the shit out of me. And now, a year later, do I still feel that way? Does it still scare the shit out of me? Yeah. Yeah. Have I accepted that not everybody is going to abuse alcohol, though, just because they drink every once in a while? Yeah, I've accepted that too. Is it possible that my person is out there in the world and they have a drink every once in a blue moon? Yeah, I do. Once or twice a year, I'll have a glass of wine. A glass. So, if I can, why can't someone else? You know what I mean? Like progress. After my last long-term relationship, I told myself I wouldn't date anybody who has served in the military. I was done and over that. Like, nope, not for me. Nope. One bad experience. Nope. Grace made rules. Grace made rules. Nope. But just because someone came out of the Marine Corps fucking hot mess and had their head all fucked up and started treating people more fucked up than they did before and validated it, like, just because one person did that doesn't mean everybody who has served in the military is like that. A lot of them might be. A lot of them might be. But not everybody. Is it true for all of them, right? Is it true? This is the big question. Is it true? Are 100% military veterans psychologically fucked up and can't have a healthy relationship with their partner? Is it 100% true? No. I cannot, beyond doubt, definitively say that that is true. So am I going to hold it against somebody that they're in the military? Or they drink on occasion? No. Am I going to forget? Right? She has not forgotten theme. Am I going to forget, though, that these are the experiences that I had? And these are the things that and this have in common. And how that ended up. No, you will not forget. Don't forget. Just because you're allowing time to unfold, to let yourself receive spirit, right? Hollow bone. To let yourself receive spirit doesn't mean you're ignorant. Doesn't mean you forgot. Doesn't mean you're dumb or stupid. It just means you are taking it into consideration, that it is a possibility. You're open, but you're not stupid. You're not stupid. And that's a far cry from being closed off and shut off. Being open, but accepting that you are not stupid. You are not going to fall for the same dumb shit. Either at all or for not nearly as long. Like my last long-term ex, it took me 5 years to realize, that I was accepting something that I did not deserve, that did not feel good. It took me 5 years. My last relationship that I just got out of with my work, that only took me 3.5 months. 3.5 months. To feel like I didn't deserve it and not like it, not like the way I felt, to cutting it off. Instead of 5 years, it took me 3.5 months. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it. Like, give yourself your wins. I think I'm still on here ranting just because I fucking missed you guys. I miss you guys so much. I feel like I really have just been gone for like a hot minute. And I'm glad I'm back. I'm not going to necessarily put the moon events consistently like every 2 weeks like I was doing back in the Etsy shop. But if and when I feel guided to moon events, and I am going to shoot for every 2 weeks with every full moon and new moon, I'm going to shoot for it. If you have not favorited the Etsy shop, or at least the secret code name like item in the shop to get notifications about it, like I'm going to restock it when I do moon events. You know, right now it's sold out because this event was sold out, right? There were all 4 slots. It was sold out. When I do the next moon event, I will put however many slots I'm going to have available in the Etsy shop. And if you are favorited on the item or favorited to the shop and have your notifications on, you'll get notifications from Etsy that I've restocked it. You know, the secret code name readings, and you can get one on there before they sell out. Whenever they are announced, I do my best to announce it here on the channel in like the community posts, that community feed on the channel, and then I post them on the Facebook page as well, right? The Divine Voice Box on Facebook. Algorithms be willing. You guys see it. But that is the best way to get notified, right? Having the subscription, you know, bell on, hearts and stuff. Like, y'all know social media by now. If you want to get notified, you've got to jump through like 10 hoops and do a couple tricks to get notified with these algorithms. But it's every 2 weeks. Like, and if you know that a full moon's coming up or a new moon's coming up, like, pop in the Etsy shop and check, you know, to see if I put any spots in there for the next event. I will keep it regularly up to date. If it is sold out and there is nothing in there, then there is not an event happening. So I'll keep you posted. But I think that this is a good spot at roughly 3 hours and 40-ish minutes in to say I love you and good to say I love you and good night. I do have all of the different timestamps written down, so I'll have them up in just a few minutes after the live is done. There's a couple that I have to just like confirm it real quick because either the seconds were weird or I started talking about it and was like, I totally want to go back, like, I don't know, 40 seconds, 60 seconds. I got to find the actual timestamp. So give me a few. I'll have it up. They'll be pinned in the comments. It'll be in the description. I will see you guys again sooner than later. I am on a new work quote unquote schedule. It's not like a schedule, and it's still highly in like the pending process of things. But I will have a more consistent presence back on the channel. I'm sorry that you guys missed me for as long as you did. And I'm grateful that you gave me that space to move through what I needed to move through in order to continue in this space. So thank you very much. And know that I love you and appreciate you, whether you've been here forever and stuck around. You are my soul fam. And I love you. Or whether you're new and you're brand new and you're just here for the first time and you're going to continue the journey forward with us, you know. Thank you for being present in all that you do to support me and the channel and all our blessed algorithms. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Take care, everybody.